right, grown black folks talk. How not to descend into the permanent underclass. Mindshift number 2. I wanted to come back up and, well, I was coming up here anyway, but we're back on Page Street. And I want to come part of the way back up the hill because it's really hot today. So I'm not going to do a long climb up and down. It's very, very hot for San Francisco. As I said, San Francisco Bay Area has a very mild climate. So in having this very mild climate, you can have days in November that push 70 degrees or higher sometimes. Even in December, occasionally, you'll hit a 65 or even a 68 or 9. From December through February, that is theoretically possible. So you have to plan for all those things. It's a beautiful problem to have in the fall and winter. And this beautiful problem to have causes major trouble during fire season. Can't have everything. Anyway, this is a slow street in San Francisco, and you can walk way out into the middle of it because cars are not allowed to use this as through traffic. Now, you still have to pay attention to what's going on because local traffic, if people have their homes or they have to pick up their children through here, they can. And they have deliveries and mail, you'll see a mail van and so forth. I want to do this video quickly. Upload times are ridiculous. So we're basically going to do this at one go so that you can have this today with Mindshift 1. And I chose Page Street. Hold on, just some beautiful autumn contrast there. I chose Page Street because I said at the end of the other video, well, let's recap. Like I said, there are vans that come through here. So you do have to be careful and pay attention to what side of the road you're supposed to be on. But there's enough space. So you'll see cars and bicycles. So not entirely alone, but you definitely have space. One of the things you really have to look out for. I said in the last video, to summarize, I'm talking about what I said at the end, but let me summarize. It's grown black folks talk. We're not going to pretend like there hasn't been a target on black people's backs to be the permanent underclass of this country since like the beginning. And we're not going to front about the fact that in the 21st century, the plan has not really changed. So with the plan having not really changed, you have to climb out. Hence, grown black folks talk on the climb. Hold on, we gotta cross this crosswalk. It's hard to climb if you get run over. We just ease on through here. Right? And like I said before, it's possible to come in here because of the Slow Streets program here in San Francisco. So thank you, SFMTA, for doing something right. Anyway, that situation. The other part of the situation is go back and read the Declaration of Independence again. Life God gives you. Liberty we finally have to a degree. And beyond life and liberty, the only other thing the United States promises you is the pursuit, the opportunity to pursue your happiness, whatever it is that's in you that's supposed to come out, and to make your living from that. That's the only promise the United States makes. Now, what goes with that is you live in a society in which people have zero obligation to you as an adult. In other words, no matter what your background is, no matter how historically disadvantaged you are, the sooner you recognize, hold on, got a car trying to ease around beside me because he had to go around another car. No matter how much you may come from a background of deprivation that others created, nobody owes you anything, and that need for vindication and comfort and justice entitles you to absolutely nothing. The sooner you understand that that's your real situation, the better off you're going to be. Because there's no point and sitting and waiting for help. This is where I ended the last video. The secret is, if you wait for help before throwing everything you have into the pursuit of whatever it is you feel you need to get out of this life, if you try to manipulate your way to help, but you don't have the kind of societal power that a Thomas Jefferson has, you're going to have a very hard time. And you might get up for a while, but that crash is going to be hard. But if you honestly pursue and get moving in the 21st century, using this piece of technology that you also have at the end of your fingertips, if you're watching this, you too can connect with the trillions of dollars of opportunity necessary to build a foundation in a capitalist society for sustenance and wealth. You also can do this. Okay, a lot of cars. We're just gonna stop a minute, see what everybody's planning to do. Okay, we're good. Like I said, this isn't a perfect program. The cars do still need to get access, so you gotta keep your eyes open. Okay, so the point that I'm making here is that, so you get all this, you're gonna get started, you're gonna get help. There's something you need to understand about that. One, the people around you in general are not going to be the ones to give you the help that you need. I'm sorry. I know that's not what you want to hear. These are people that you know and love, some. Now, some of you who've been through abusive backgrounds, you already know that. But do yourself this favor, okay? Ask yourself if you came into a bequest of $50,000. It's a nice sum. Okay, let's just say you came into it. We'll get into specifics. How many members of your friends and family are going to be happy for you if you tell them you don't have plans to share any of it with them? Okay. Ask yourself that question honestly. And then, if you think you have some surviving friends and family, some of them are going to say, you're so lucky. Then tell them, no, I learned a new skill, applied it specifically and consistently, and that's how I made the $50,000. I'm not going to give you any of it, but I'm willing to show you how to get it. How many friends and family do you have standing around you then? Huh? Be honest. If you don't have any left, then you need to be honest about your actual situation. And that's just a question of money. We're not even talking about what kind of a different lifestyle consistently being able to make $50,000 can give you, that because the people around you don't have the skill, they can't access. And if you tell them you're not going to carry them, that's where the trouble starts. So this is why you will not get the help you think you're going to from your friends and family if they are not already in a position of growing and learning themselves. There's something else to consider. In the Black community, we talk a lot about, hold on a second. We talk a lot about crabs in a bucket. The idea is crabs will keep each other from getting out of the bucket by pulling each other down. But that doesn't really get to the point. And I'll tell you why. All crabs in a bucket are actually trying desperately to get out of the bucket. The thing is, they don't have an ego. They're just trying to get out of the bucket. And if they could get organized, they could make it easily. Easily. But they're crabs. Human beings, you have something different going on. Now, I realize everybody listening to me isn't Jewish or Christian, but go read Genesis 3 sometimes, just for the education on human nature that you're going to get. Go read it and understand that there are two types of people in this world when it comes to doing the wrong thing. You have people that in a perfect situation, never mind an imperfect, will have a perfect situation for them, but will be deceived, conned into thinking that it can be better and throw it all away. And then you have the group of people, that was Eve, and then you have the group of people that know better than what they're about to do. But in order to move up to be like God, they will throw all that away on that chance to have more domination. Adam was a husbandman, he was the husband of Eve, but the husbandman of the whole planet. He was the guardian of all creation. And Satan put before him the opportunity to go up from there, as high as any mortal being could go, in order to become God himself, to ease God out, which is another way to say ego, E-G-O. And actually, if you keep reading in scripture, that was Satan's problem also. He wanted to have the privileges of God himself, to replace him. When you begin to move up in the world, understand this. It becomes painfully obvious that you are going to separate yourself and you are going to mess with the delusions of everyone around you, because pride works two ways. Hold on, we've got a nice group of mixed wheel traffic coming. So, there are two kinds of pride on this subject. In the quest to be seen as God, to receive admiration, and to receive worship. We're very used to dealing with the racism variation of this, which basically is a group of human beings saying, because of my race, I'm better than you, I'm more like God. The money shows my image, the country's statuary shows my image. I come from a civilization, the Greco-Roman, that I've modeled after, that allowed men like me to be God. Of course I'm better than you. So you don't deserve to have what I have. And I'm going to keep you from getting it. That's one form of ego, of pride, that causes a great deal of trouble. There is another form. Now, we're at Masonic. And at Masonic, you cross at the light. And I'm actually going to get up on the sidewalk because there are a lot of parents coming through here that are going to be picking up their kids from school for a little while. So we're going to come on over here to the sidewalk for right now. Okay. So that's one kind. And as black people, we fight a lot about that form. What we don't want to acknowledge is how much of this type of pride exists in ourselves and among our peers. You're not better than me. You're not more worthy of admiration and love and the good things in life than I am. And I'm going to stop you from showing yourself as more worthy than me. Same pride, the same willingness to wreck shop, just for a different reason. The racist says, I'm better than you. I'm more like God. I won't let you disprove me. A lot of your friends and family, and this isn't a reference to color, but the more deprived the community you come from, the more likely you are to meet the proud mindset of, you're not better than me. I'm not going to let you get more admiration, more beautiful things, more out of life than I do. I'm going to stop you. I'm not going to let you disprove me. So, in getting help on the pursuit, understand your friends and family may not be where the help comes from. So, I'm going to do another little video about this and what that means. How you doing, sir? What that means you have to end up doing as you go on this journey. Just understand the help that you meet is probably going to come from you doing what you do well enough so that you begin to meet strangers who are not competing with you for attention and admiration in the same circle, who will not be threatened by helping you. And of course, you'll have to sort them in the United States from the racist, but we're not in a perfect world. So that is how it is. So understand that you will be helped on your pursuit, but you may have to get some space and maybe quite a lot of it between yourself and the people around you. And you may feel very much alone, but that's part of the process. Got another little video for you, Mindshift number 3, and you'll see it in the morning. Thank you for listening and walking with me. Bye.